Ladies and gents, we are here. Now, for accuracy's sake, I'm going to switch the platinum logo to the gold logo because I don't want people making jokes. Here we are. This is the second round for both Sobek and Slam in Gold League. And Slam had a very fun, very competitive series the first round against Overtaken, where he lost 2-1. Now, it's good that he snagged that win, but obviously he's going to need more. And he finds himself up against Sobek now. Sobek, a player who was formerly in Plat, was relegated back down. But Sobek won 3-0 in his first round. So certainly with the wins, things are looking a lot better for Sobek coming into this. Could get very dangerous for Slam in his quest for playoffs and in his quest for even survival, right? If he were to get swept here. Even just one win could make things a little bit dangerous for him. Slam's playing as the Kurjaras. Map is Rocky Forest, and then Sobek is playing as the Byzantines. This is actually the improved version, so for those that saw the earlier cast today, that was on the older version of Rocky Forest. We recently made some tweaks. I talked about it there. We made it so some of the wood lines are a bit further away on the backside, because the whole point is kind of to force players to take these wood lines. But we also made it more clear where the rock is. The old rocks were kind of wishy-washy, and it was hard to tell where you could build and where you couldn't. And we also made the amount of rock around the wood line a little bit more consistent. So you can find easier lumber camp positions. So it's still awkward. You still can't build on the rock, but it's better. Gurjara is a nice choice here. I think Slam picked Gurjara's because he was expecting to be up against Scout Civ. And Gurjaras are just super good in Scout Wars because they can also make the camels. But I don't know if Gurjaras is necessarily that smooth against the Byzantines. The Byzantines feels like a really good choice here, actually. Especially if you know your opponent's going to be active through the middle. You could just go spears and skirms there. Just great defensive options here. Byzantines, kind of a do-no-wrong civilization, but they struggle in the early moments. Like early feudal, early castle would be their weakest points. Not really early imp. Early imp is actually pretty strong for them, so. But you think about the Gurjaras, you want to be playing into your unique units or camels. So your camels do additional bonus damage. That's nice. But, if your opponent has cheap pikes and then cheap camels of their own, it might not feel as smooth. And other than that, you use the Shravamsha Rider against any range units. And then the Frisbee boys, the Chakrams out of the castles. So Slam delays the lumber camp, which is pretty typical for the Gurjaras, because they'll build the mill at the start, and he's just pushing in what deer he can. And Sobek will do the same, and I expect Sobek to click up here. I think there are civs that are good against Byzantines, but they're not. You don't pick a civ to counter Byzantine. So there's no civ that necessarily counters Biz, but there's civs that play out a little bit stronger against Byzantine. Usually, I think that would be civilizations that have a better economy than Byzantines and can hit the timings. And Gurjaras, you could argue, fit that. Slam just can't help himself. He's not as active these days, but for those that have followed Slam, it's like, he used to always say, can't stop, won't stop. That's his thing. He's like, if there's a deer, I gotta push it. But I actually think this is a critical timing. He's going to hit feudal age really fast. If this camel scout can find Sobek's scout and do some real damage to that, just kill that off, it's a nice little momentum swing. So, yeah, we are going to see a crazy strat on Rocky Forest. I can't tell you what it is. I was tempted to give more details, but I won't. But I'll just tell you, at some point this week, we might see something wild on Rocky Forest. All right, chat? I don't know how frequently you guys are going to be able to be here, because it's like games all day, every day. You may have some things to worry about, some things to get to, but I'll make sure you hear about it if you miss it. Achira says, I want Dragonstar. Dragonstar, he's going to be playing up against Yo over the next couple days, so we will see him. This is so smart from Sobek. He actually sends his scout to the outside, knowing the Gurjara player will be up faster, and that he would just lose that scout to the camel. That's actually crazy. It's a really weird spot to go with your scout otherwise. But it ends up being smart because if he was anywhere near the middle, that camel would be chewing him up. A Slam comes in, sees the barracks. And now he needs to confirm what his opponent's opening with. And then Slam also going for a staple at home. And now Sobek sees this. And Slam now also sees the range. So I'm noticing Slam doesn't have a ton of eco underneath his TC. Talk about this every single time I'm casting Gurjaras. But I really think, especially if you want to range down fast, people should be pulling an extra sheep or two out. Like, pull an extra sheep or two out and these villagers aren't on stragglers. And then you don't need to rush down the farms. Doesn't seem like Slam has the best food situation right now. Camel around the backside. Scouts coming forward. You cannot wall on the rock, but you can still kind of guide the opponent's army into the choke points that you control. So, this is where things start to get a little tough for Slam, and Slam will need skirms of his own for the spears. So still no farming eco out for Sobek, but his units are very cheap. And he'll see Slam looping around to find some damage. Look at all that vision the Byzantines get with free Town Watch. And so you're not really meant to kill villagers with this army, but it just makes your opponent's eco so inefficient. And Slam actually drops a tower here. Interesting. Initially, I was going to say I feel it's a bit of an overreaction, but the tower also protects your gold later, too. So the fact that it's on your gold and also your wood is really smart. Sobek could actually do the same if he wants to. And Slam couldn't find damage. Sobek was walled. Sobek protected everything pretty nicely. And Slam now will come home. Getting a little bit housed here or there. Still don't think his eco is necessarily perfect. But with 2 skirms, he may be able to focus down these spears. And then the skirms are an easy clear for the rest of his scouts as well. Well, this is on the recording. What's weird is my internet's clearly working. So let's see if I could get the stream back up. Sorry, YouTube. I think it might be a server issue because my internet stayed on. So we'll slowly catch up to where we were. And my apologies, everyone. Really frustrating. It's very rare for me to have these issues, so I got to look into it. But Slam cleared this up. We're back. Thank you, guys. And Slam's got a whole lot of army advancing forward. And a little awkward at times. But we'll get back into this. Spears and skirms here from Sobek. I'll act like I didn't completely lose my rhythm. Also, someone resubbed and said, keep up the great work, and I immediately dropped. That's your fault. Bedflip, English Nemesis, Ashy, Anthony, thank you. Still catching up the live time here. 4-1 KD. Slam will aim to kill off those spears here with his own skirms. There's a lot of spears in there. Very micro-intensive, and we're also going very fast. But look at the micro from Slam. Good micro from Sobek at the same time, but those spears are weak. And so Slam says, screw your spears, man. And just continues to dive on every single spearman he sees. Now, you can't get too crazy with this if you're Slam. And this is the thing about Byzantines, is they could just make these units forever. And the key to that for Slam was actually his skirm count. So he was slowly losing his skirm count there. Yeah, I know it's not my internet because I didn't lose the game. And I didn't lose my chat. So I could see everything chat was saying while I dropped. Slam is actually going to house wall quickly this way. So Sobek's army can't get to his farming eco. And trying to click up to Castle Age now. Army in the middle of the map. Picking off random spears and skirms that aren't with the main group. And then you've also got villagers on stone to recoup the loss from the stone he invested in the tower. If I'm Sobek, I'm thinking I need to get underneath this tower and do some damage right now. You've got crazy amounts of army. Am I dropping again? What? What is happening, dude? I'm sorry, YouTube. Okay, I think I'm back. I still have no clue what's causing this. It just fixes every time I go offline and come back. But you should be able to hear me again, guys. And we're catching up again. Okay, we'll just continue this cycle. Where were you the day that T90's internet was riding against him? Super weird. It's not my internet, man. My internet's not disappearing. Like, maybe we'll hear in like an hour that Twitch is having issues or something. But I don't trust it now, so just thanks for sticking with me, I guess. Slam has had a really nice game. Like, honestly, coming into this, I thought that Byzantines was going to be such a nice choice and would make life so awkward for him, but in the end, he's still got a big army he'll have to deal with. But when he'll be in Castle Age, he'll have some other options. Yet servers are weird sometimes. Like, sometimes servers will not work for certain people, and Twitch will say something later. So obviously, I'm hoping that this has something to do with servers, and that it's not something I need to look into, but technology, man. Maybe there's a very hungry squirrel that is currently eating my fiber outside of my place. Look at Slam's setup now. TC2, TC3 immediately. And his army is dying on that backside. But it's still pretty good. That's not too bad. Like, now you have the option to add siege. So, he'll still have an awkward time. But against spears and skirms, with a couple scorpions or a couple mangonels, he may have some type of defense there. And yeah, guys, you can just refresh or tell people to refresh if they're still having issues. It should be fine for everybody now. Everything's smooth. Everything's great. I'm not happy about it. But I think we're back. Love how chat always focuses so heavily. Like, I'm already struggling when we like lose internet connection and I don't enjoy it. And then there's always a couple people that are like, Mary lost 1,000 viewers. like I need that right now. I'm trying to make sure we're back up on track. Ah, this guy lost 1,000 viewers. What a loser. Yeah, hopefully those people return. So this is the awkward point in the game for Slam. He has to face the music. He has to face the army. Siege isn't out quite yet. Villagers have ventured a little too far here. But he's building up towards a castle. He still has the stone on the backside. He still has good eco at home. And I think a castle right next to the TC feels realistic here. I don't think there's much that Sobek could do to really stop that. Sobek now TC number 2. But Res Collected should start to shift a little bit here. Sorry, that's TC number 3. My bad, I'm blind. So really nice for Slam that he can actually start making a unit, which can be really valuable here. Because otherwise, you can't even get pikemen with their Gurjaras right now. It's kind of tough to know what to do. I think an extended camel war against Byzantines is rough because they have cheap pikemen. And then they also have the cheap camels just to match your numbers, basically. Oh, this is going to be a devastating raid, dude. This is great because right now, most of the action is going to happen through the middle. This is where the action's expected to happen. This is where Sobek's focused. But Shrivamshas could split up, get underneath his TCs. And as he's already struggling to find any type of damage here, he now needs defense here. And so Sobek will garrison here. He'll garrison his main TC as well. But now look at Slam. Slam is actually blocked. Well, he was blocking the opening with camels. He has monks waiting. He converts one. As Sobek doesn't really know where to go right now, because if he runs in, he gives up conversions. As Slam Shrivamshas still have their raiding potential back here as well. As Slam kills 2 Vils. Shrivamshas can always just run away. And now Sobek will dive underneath the town center. You could tell he's really desperate for some damage right now. You don't normally want to be underneath town centers with camels like this, but you have to do something if you can't pressure the middle with the rest of your army. Nice job from Sobek. He's got 18 camels. He killed off most of the Shrivamshas. Kills off a couple of Vils as well. A little sloppy from Slam, honestly, to not be saving these Vils. And he really needs his monks back here. He needs his own camels, but with a couple conversions, I think Slam will end up clearing this. And one conversion. Almost gets a second conversion. And now Light Cav raiding over here as well, and the Monk will go down for Sobek. Wow, crazy. This is kind of what I expected Slam to want to do. Lots of Cav, lots of raids, just adapting and booming. But I think from here, you have to start making chakrams. Castle Age versions aren't really that strong, but I just don't know if you want a long-term camel war. I think the additional bonus damage that camels do versus other camels is only 1. But I guess that in combination with bloodlines isn't necessarily the worst. Is it 2? Okay, so you do 2 extra damage. And then you have bloodlines versus the Byzantine camels. I thought it was 1, but I don't know. I'll take your word for it, Freezing Point. But I reserve the right to blame you if you're wrong. Wow, Slam clicks up. That's crazy. Think about this. He didn't get armor. He didn't get forging. He didn't really invest into many upgrades at all. He has a slight Vil lead. He's still going to have a whole lot of camels to deal with here in a moment. But he's taken decent fights. He'll probably have some big problems here. But still could get those upgrades. Still could have the occasional monks pop out. Still has the TCs to defend from these camels. And now Sobek, who still doesn't have any control of the middle, will come back here to raid. Slam doesn't have the numbers to deal with this right now. But he does have the monk. And he does have a bloodline. So he's hoping that that will make the difference here. But that is a good fight for Sobek. When Slam clicked imp like this, it's because he didn't have the army production. The camels are so cheap for Sobek. But I think in the end... Oh, man, what a close fight. Well, you take that if you're Slam. As long as you're not losing villagers back there, you're probably happy. Feels like this is Sobek's time. Sobek is not going to believe that Slam is up to imp before him. That's so rare to happen. So he'll place a castle probably for a Treb War. And Slam, almost expecting that, has outposts coming up as well. So 14 camels on the map for Slam right now. 8 camels for Sobek, and there's Sobek's castle, and Slam will go for the second one. Wow, what a great macro game from Slam. Does he have a market? He does have a market. So he can buy some wood to make the Trebs here. And there he goes on the back side now. His turn to raid with camels. So wow, literally, I don't want to jinx it here, but everything's fine with the stream, guys? Everything's smooth now? Super weird, dude. I changed nothing. So, I don't know why that would happen. And now I'm kind of nervous about it, but... Alright, everything's good. Thank you. Should be 2 Trebs for Slam. And Heavy Camel's on the way, and Chemistry's on the way. So, both players will go for Heavy Camel. Slam still doesn't have a single Blacksmith upgrade for his camels. And it does have Treb number 2 on the way. Sobek, though, has a lot on stone. And if he has the camel production, he could consider diving for trebuchets. I think if Slam loses this game, it's because he doesn't have both of his castles producing Trebs, and because he doesn't have Blacksmith upgrades right now. It's wild to me that... And I guess he's getting to it now, but... Pretty wild to me that he's had 2 castles for this long. And it's only about to be 2 Trebs versus 1. Ooh, hold on. Sobek is building a castle here. Slam will now drop one as well. Slam's about to get Heavy Camel, so they'll take the fight, but Slam's camels become heavy now. So that should be a very good clear up for him. And I'm not really certain... I think Sobek's castle will go up, but this is getting really intense right now. I think it's about to be all hands on deck. All camels on deck towards the middle. Yeah, both castles complete here. Slam has a bombard cannon on the way. So it's 3 castles against 2. And really awkward times for any of the army right now. He probably won't prioritize it because he needs the resources for bombard cannons and trebs. But if Slam had ballistics right now, that would be insane. He actually has no stone income. He doesn't have a single villager on stone. Slam just panicked to buy stone, but his bombard cannon's here. And it seems as though Sobek is realizing he's going to lose this castle here. Sobek is giving up this position to back off with these trebs. There's still just a camel war here. And Sobek's castle will fall. And this is going to be so rough for Sobek. Because if he is losing this castle, he's definitely losing this castle. So he'll have no castles. And Slam will have 3 castles, which gives him so much space and time to think. And Slam not being on stone right now, for example, he has time to breathe and think about that. Find that his stone is back here. He could get frontier guards, which adds a lot of extra armor to his camels. And also, like, Sobek, I would normally suggest to go pikeman here, but I don't really know if you have the time to do that now. If you try to go pikeman and your opponent has 3 castles, they can make the chakrams. Sobek will be castleless here. And now here, Slam, a couple monks around, more camels around, and he'll defend and push back the camel raid. He does kill that castle, but he will lose one of his own here. So still has a big answer to find in the middle. I still think Slam could lose because of lack of upgrades. He has 2 blacksmith upgrades against 5. Now, he still has bloodlines and he still has the castle fired, but like... And numbers are the most important thing, but I'm looking at the queue right now from Sobek. It's pretty insane. You can't produce cataphracts in Sobek's positions. You have no castles. Your castles were used to produce trebs. Cataphracts would be great, though, if you had time. Don't know if there's a lot of time at all right now for Sobek. That's the issue. Even resources, but his trebs take out the bombard cannon. The Slam's camels are over here. The Slam did find some find some stone, sorry. I think Slam's about to lose his castle, guys. Sobek's almost 200 pop. That raid's not accomplishing much. And, oh, Frontier Guards is on the way. Okay, so this is a really expensive upgrade, but this upgrade means everything to Slam right now. Because he doesn't have the armor that his opponent has, or iron casting, but he'll get the melee armor. And Frontier Guards is pretty sick. You'll see the armor change. So he gets an additional 4 melee armor. I think, with quick math, I think that evens out the camel fight. I think they're somewhat even now. It's very expensive for Slam. It's about to be the biggest camel war of TTL so far, right here in the middle. Let's see. Slam's got just this castle. He needs to defend this. Here we go. Slam's own trebs are just defending it, hitting down these trebs right now. Slam still won't take the fight. Slam is really housed right now, guys. He doesn't really have a lot of pop space. Is he going to engage? What are we doing here? Slam's still waiting. The Sobek's got a lot more camels in queue. Slam doesn't have a TC here anymore, so he's only on 2 TCs. So rebooming with Vils will be tough. And Slam is just being patient here. There's a couple monks in there healing up. And maybe Slam doesn't feel comfortable taking the fight until he gets more upgrades. Wow, this is ridiculous that they are just jockeying for position in the middle of this map right now. Bombard cannon there for Slam. He needs to protect it. Sobek loses one of his trebs. Sobek loses his other trebs. Slam holds. And Slam's like, go ahead, fight me. I've got Castle Fire, I've got monks. I'll take the fight. I think Sobek needs to take the fight, though. Camel v. Camel. Who wins? We've got 60 camels for Slam. There's 45 camels for Sobek. Armor will come in for Slam. And with Frontier Guards, he should completely destroy. And he does. Slam wins the game. Sorry for all the drops there, folks, but hopefully things are smooth from here. And what a great game there from Slam. That was sick. I think this is a much harder matchup for the Gujaras. Byzantines have all the bonuses, all the late game you want. They have more HP on those castles, cheaper camels, cheaper spears, cheaper skirms, better tech tree. But Slam, I thought he was going to go chakrams, but he didn't make a single chakram. He just went for the eco and said, I can out-camel you, bro. Look at the difference in units produced, too. 132 camels produced from Sobek and just 99 from Slam. But that was a ridiculous fight right there. Wow. Slam's 54 camels here had 65 kills. Yeah, Frontier Guards is a massive upgrade. Well played from Slam. So Slam starts it off with a bang. And we'll move on to Sobek's home map there. Slam took some very good trades all game. He didn't have the same wood and food eco, but he did also have more gold and stone collected because of the control there in the middle. Yeah, I think because of the nature of that game, so there were some suggestions. Because of the nature of that game, a lot of people would go pikemen as Byzantines, but because of how fast the game was going, I don't think pikemen would have worked. Basically, if he tries to go for the full halb switch, he doesn't get the camel numbers. And if he doesn't get the camel numbers, then Slam never loses his castles. And then if Slam never loses his castles, he can simply just go for the chakrams. So I think sometimes you just got to send it with the camels there. It wasn't necessarily a misplay from Sobek. All right, guys, game 2. Slam took the first game. So overall live standings, they both played 4 games, right? Sobek has 3 wins. Slam has 2 because Slam took 1 win from the first round. Now he's got 1 win already. We are on Sobek's home map, Jungle Swamp. And Jungle Swamp, there's a swamp. There's a jungle. But there's deer everywhere. So I think there's like 100 deer on the map. It does depend. It's not the same amount every time, but I'll try and click them here. 88 deer. So Mongols are the best civ on this map, but Mongols are banned out for obvious reasons. No one wants to be up against Mongols on this map. Magyars, Lithuanians, both pretty good. I think Lithuanians will be a bit stronger at taking advantage of the water. So I would almost expect that with this civ choice from Slam, that he might want to do that. Here's something. Oh, Slam's about to do this. So the trees, guys, are acacia trees around the TC. Very interesting. Normally, acacia trees have 150 wood. It's weird that they have 151. Not that that's important, but I wonder what causes that. Anyways, 150 wood is like 50% more than what a normal tree has. So Slam should be able to just take the straggler trees and dock before building a lumber camp if he wanted to. But now I think he's actually going to build a lumber camp. But I actually think it'd be really smart to go for a fast dock. Slam's build almost makes it look like he's not going to plan on a dock at all. Sobek, we'll see, but Sobek's Magyars, so I would expect scouts. Harkalar, welcome, says, hi, people, I'm new here. Welcome, welcome. Where are all the new people coming from? They coming from Facebook? Probably coming from YouTube. 4 on wood start from Sobek makes me think that he'll probably drop the dock towards the middle. You wouldn't normally do that with the Magyars otherwise, so we might see both players build a dock. And Slam just pushing in the deer. Like I said in the first game, like Slam's obsessed with pushing in his deer, so he'll do that. You also have the 2 boars, you have the berries, plus you have the fish. So Santana says, longtime YouTube lurker, started playing yesterday. Okay, sick. Spiridheim says, here from YouTube. Someone just said something in Spanish, which I can't translate, but they have CL at the end of their name, so I think they're probably Chilean and probably here rooting for Sobek. But if you could please keep it in English so I understand what you're saying, that would be great. Fat Hippo's here from YouTube as well. Okay, cool. Well, there's the doc from Sobek. There's the doc from Slam. What's up, Pizza? Thank you, thank you. Droon Kids says, longtime YouTube watcher, first time catching the stream, huge Titans League fan. Yo, thank you, thank you. This is sick. What do you guys think about my new fish mod? There were some YouTube comments saying they quite like it. I like it better than the one that shows the, like, the fish symbol, because I think the fish symbol is a little cheesy for casting. But I actually think this is just subtle enough to help people see where fish are when casting a competitive game. I don't know if there is one that's even more subtle. One that maybe isn't quite as dark with the lines, but I think it's a good compromise, personally. Yeah, I think it's called fish borders. And then there's one that's fish symbols. And I like the fish borders, so. All right, most people like it. That's good. So Slam, he scouted that his opponent is docked here. He's up to feudal age already. Lithuanians have the extra 100 food at the start, so this is the expectation that Lithuanians be a bit better here. But check this out. He wants to go scouts, right? So I don't think he's actually going to build a mining camp. He's going to mine enough gold so he can make 2 fire ships. That's just it. And he's hoping his opponent won't go to gold at all. His opponent will only be able to make 1. And then he would win water as a result. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Slam does actually build a mining camp, and maybe he uses that gold long-term for other things, like archers. But this is a crazy build from Slam. He's up super fast. And then Sobek will be up much later. And he'll go for those scouts, which are really dangerous. But I like the Lithuanians here because they have fast spears to defend. So on a scout-heavy map, I think Lithuanians are pretty smooth. I think initially Slam will make the fires, then he'll make spears. He'll basically delay his scout production for this. But I mean, the other thing, there's a lot of areas to protect here, right? Like, Sobek could still kill fishing ships and fire ships with scouts. So this could probably be very good for both players. Yeah, Slam won't be able to make a stable right away as a result of going for the fires. I think Sobek should honestly just give up his fish. I think trying to fight back... Well, I guess I'm saying this with the knowledge I have. Trying to fight back wouldn't work. Well, it might be considered a waste. But Sobek doesn't know that Slam is prepped to make 2 fire galleys. Let's go. Lots of Slam fans here. Tremendo says watching TTL instead of working on a Friday is how I love to start my weekend. Nice. Well, I like the effect that we have on the world economy in Age of Empires 2. So as the Age of Empires community grows, the economy gets worse. But, you know, I'm low-key kind of proud of that, you know? Not trying to get you guys fired or anything. And hopefully you still keep your jobs. Then I'll apologize. With Sobek, he does the right thing here. It's awkward, but he's not producing a fire galley. Probably would have just ended up losing. It's also interesting that Slam didn't even make his second one. That's really good for Slam. Sobek walls in this wood line, still has the other, but now scouts are out. So Slam gets spotted here. And Slam says, good idea, I'm going to do the same. But there's no way you don't overchop these wood lines when this gets messy, right? Like, especially Sobek. I'm already looking at some of these trees. So you can't be greedy here. You need to make a lot of army on this map. Now, Slam even going to come forward with some spears now. Interesting that we actually have villagers headed to gold now for Sobek and a fire galley in queue. So I guess he's lost his fish, but he doesn't want Slam to have that, which is understandable. Slam scouts arrive. You'll see the Vills on gold there, and he's got lots of options here to get some kills. And there are the scouts now from Sobek as well, and Slam sending spears to the exposed area there. Noticing Slam is preemptively building a lot of houses. I'll be curious to see if Sobek gets housed a lot here, because he's like right at the limit. Yeah, like right there, getting housed. Just feel like when you're producing out of your barracks, your dock, your stable, your TC, having, like, being ahead in the house situation is really important. I don't know if Slam is really looking here right now, but if he is, he might make his other fire galley. But I think he's already kind of benefited from the fish. And he also has overchopped this. This is what we said. Slam thinks this is walled in. The scouts are here from Sobek now. That could be a dead Vil for Slam. It is. And Slam quickly rewalls behind. Now, I kind of like I like the timing that Sobek's going back on the water. Where I wouldn't like it freezing point is if it came at the expense of something else. Like, if he went for water right away in feudal, he wouldn't have had the scouts and the spears. There, I wouldn't like it. But now I like it, because you can afford to do this. Yo, Tremendo, thank you for the 5 gifted, man. Again. Especially after the drops and some viewers disappeared, it makes me feel a lot better. Thank you, thank you. Oh, man, we could see some juicy demos. So there's that middle circle where land units can't pass, but the scouts could come up and take out those ships. I'd like to see Slam build a blacksmith and go for forging here. Just to at least match the Magyars, since they have that. It also helps your spears. It helps your scouts. You've got a whole lot of that out. Almost feels like Slam wants to go Castle Age here. In fact, he's building a market now. Makes me think that. And, oh, man, everything from Sobek is converging onto the middle area. Slam will probably lose everything there. And you can tell Slam's distracted right now. Sobek spears defend. And Slam will lose everything. He'll lose the Vil. He'll lose his fish. And that demo in queue from Slam won't really offer all that much. So well played from Sobek. You eliminate the fish aspect. Plus, the middle of the map's always good for some sneaky control with demos later on. And is there an overchop here? Oh, dude. Slam, you can't play this style on Jungle Swamp, man. You're going to overchop every woodline, man. You need army. That's what Sobek's doing. And Sobek says, thank you very much. Just walks out of the open gate. Sobek has 3 spears around his base to defend. He's got 7 scouts with more on the way right now. Good farming eco as well. Slam does have some farms, does still have the berries, does still defend, could easily swing. Now, who knows? Like, maybe it's not too bad for Slam if he can get to Knights. I remember a couple crazy games from Titans League Season 1, which was like 2 or 3 years ago now, where players were 15 Vils behind, but Knights turned it around in early Castle. Slam gets swatted away there. Still tracking these scouts over here. Slam has a decent amount on gold. His wood is protected until he overchops again. And there is still the chance of a demo in the middle. Slam needs to try and lure Sobek to the water now, but I think Sobek will be too smart for that. Slam still has these 4 spears around. Sobek's coming in with another group now. So I think Slam doesn't know about the new group of scouts. He also doesn't know about the archers. And so he was just not expecting this. He does react, though. But now his gold's exposed. Sobek kills a Vil. Slam quick walls. Oh, man, that's a brutal situation to quick wall, though. Sobek dives. Slam is also over here. Sobek doesn't get as good a value as he would have wanted here. But he's still killing some villas from Slam. The scouts are still getting good value. This is before any archers show up as well. It's like he also killed the scout from Slam, and he takes Slam completely off of gold. 12-2 eco KD for Sobek. A great response. In the first game, it was very difficult for him to find considerable damage against Slam. Slam played very well defensively. But this is just a more open map. Slam made a lot of fire galleys in the middle. Holy crap. And he would drop a second TC. It's on wood, which is very exposed as well. And now he's got knights. He also has a counterattack with the scouts. He should be able to kill all 3 of these villagers, actually. Well, maybe 2. And now, does Sobek overchop? I mean, overchop, dude. He's well beyond that at this point. Slam doesn't really have an eco to make more knights after the 3 or 4 that he makes initially. But these 3 or 4 could be really effective. Archers from Sobek will see this. Bit of a panic time for Sobek right now. But you now know that there can be knights around, and you should be double checking. And yeah, he has the time to notice this. Oh, what a difference maker it would have been if Slam actually went here. Sobek had time to notice that. Slam will have the fish. He'll be able to fish the 250 food that's left there, which isn't much. But now he's kind of in boom and defend mode. Like, he's got 11 on food and 2 TCs. You can't produce knights and villagers out of 2 TCs with that. think those archers are so key for Sobek because it's mainly spear defense from Slam. Those archers are so key. Slam, desperate for some damage. But there's enough spears around from Sobek. Sobek will now make a couple of his own knights. There's a knight from Slam, though. Slam notices that just passing. That's a brutal just passing for Slam. That could have been a couple Vil picks. He'll notice now, but Sobek's around. He's still microing back here. And Slam's dropping a TC here. I think Slam knows. If he doesn't know the archers are around, he'll know now. But that TC was very well timed. I'll give him that. And spears go down. Slam's still running around. And I dropped again. What is happening, dude? Or at least, I don't know if I've fully dropped. Let's see. I don't know if it's back. Are we back? Okay, we're back. I don't know what's happening. What's the blame it on your ISP taunt? Because I'm currently blaming it on my ISP. Sorry, guys. I don't know the situation. Normally, if I drop, I also lose connection to the game. So I'll look into it after the stream today. See if there's anything I can do. This shouldn't be a continuous issue throughout TTL. So hopefully it's just a one-time thing. 3 TCs for Slam. Vil count's even. I do think he'll have a tough time with producing army right now. But he's in a nice position here with the scouts and the knights. There's been a couple moments where if Slam just goes to a slightly different area, he does a ton of damage. Like right now, he needs to be on that gold. And yeah, like what is Sobek supposed to do with his gold right now? Slam just needs his knights to actually engage. Still trying to defend here. Had to garrison both TCs and bring a Scorpion over. Sobek had just enough time to get the army over there to deal with that. Thing is, this will just get to a point where the Cav Archer mass is so high that Slam's knights won't be enough. That's the concern. And Sobek's doing such a good job. Like, Sobek sniping the Scorpion there. Still chasing down these knights. Sobek's food eco is actually better than Slam's. And Sobek is the one who was later to the TCs here. Who didn't have the fish. Really smooth transitions for him. Also has horse collar for all his farms as well, so there's a lot of wood savings there. This game might continue on for a while. But Slam needs his eco to cook up a little bit. Slam needs to heal up these knights. He needs to wait for his resources to rise and then eventually get some armor upgrades. But he does just not have upgrades today. Remember, he was super late with the armor upgrades the previous game. Ended up paying off. But we've got a very different situation here, right? University now as well for Sobek. Slam needs to find some type of counter damage. Or he needs to defend against all these CA. There's scorpions everywhere. There's a scorpion here. There's a scorpion here. This scorpion's being repaired. So he's positioned a scorpion underneath every single town center. Nice repairs again from Slam. That won't be enough, though. The scorpion goes down. Sobek is playing a clean game. It's very easy to get rattled after a game doesn't go your way. It's very easy to just not be at your best on any given day as well, right? We come to expect it of, let's say, the Platinum players, that they're on point every series. Even there, it doesn't happen. With Gold, you could expect a little bit more in the way of problems there. Now, this is all worth it for Sobek. He's killing a lot of Scorpions. And he's done a really nice job. He's always aware when Slam comes to his base. I'd love to see him get some outposts around the front of his map, though. Because if those knights get in, it could be a bit of a problem. Just, it doesn't feel like Slam has much more to try than this, though. This has got to do something. He's 10 villagers behind right now. Yo, Tremendo and Choppa, thank you guys. Thank you for the gifted subs. Sobek seems to be expecting those knights. He hasn't seen them in a while. Snipes the monk. Snipe a few vills. He's waiting. With CA at home, knowing Slam's going to arrive. And he'll see this. Yeah, he'll see this. He'll track that, no problem. Also sniped a few more vills. Has the monks around. Cav archers have ballistics. Slam still doesn't have armor, dude. But you pretty much need 2 armor upgrades at this point, which makes it even worse. It's feeling like a 1-1 right now, guys. Choppa and Tremendo have been going crazy with the gifts today. Thank you. And yet people are still dodging. Sorry, guys. So I think there's 2 ways to play this from Sobek's position. One option is you drop more stables and you just go full light cav in combination with your cav archers to snipe scorpions and raid and just stay in castle. The other option, and probably the safer play, is defensive castle and imp. I'm more of an all-in castle age player in this position, but I'm not as clean as Sobek, and Sobek's a pretty clean player who he just feels like he's in so much control right now, right? And Cav archers are the main unit that's going to win you this game. And if that's the case, getting to imp faster benefits you the most. Man, I've not changed anything recently, guys, but there's just been a lot of people showing up saying they're here for the first time. It's awesome to see. This is sick. What a great series to find as well. Nice scorpion hits from Slam. I mean, this is a weak group of Cav archers. This is a weak group of Cav archers. Sobek might need a monk or 2 to heal up. He also might need a market. Sell off that food and he could be on the way to imp. Oh, Tremendo with more gifted subs. What's happening? Yo, thank you, man. If you are subbed, if you could drop some legends in chat for Choppa and Tremendo, thank you. Or the emote kind of looks like leg end. We're not calling you the end of a leg. We're calling you a legend. I mean, unless you want to be a leg end, then you can also be a leg end. Whatever you want. It's up to interpretation. Oh, God. Things could get a little risky right now for Sobek, because his army is actually rather weak. He does have numbers, but a lot of his units are low HP. And Slam is full armor now, and Bloodlines, and 11 Knights. Not to mention Slam's starting to snag relics. So Slam will get that extra attack on those Knights soon. I still love the castle position. It protects this whole side. And then in theory, he could use the army elsewhere. And he doesn't allow Slam to get the demo. And the snipes happen. I think Sobek understands the job he needs to do right now. We'll dive in, snipe the monk, prevent that relic from being collected, snipe the scorpions now too. Thumbring's coming in too. Pikeman's even coming in. He could go Halb. And then finally Slam makes it, and it's like, yes, I'm here to raid. I have the upgrades. And then you run into a castle and you run into a monk. Just a perfect game from Sobek. He's just made this so difficult for Slam. Slam's Knights might have the armor, but is the armor even enough now? Just too many Cav archers with too many upgrades. Sobek converts the full HP Knight. This is a great game from Sobek. This is the Sobek that people need to see. This is the Sobek that made me think he's the favorite in this series. But once we head to game 3, it will be on Slam's home map. But I think both these players are so similar in style, it should be a really close game. Did Choppa gift more subs? Or is that from before? We have a sub gift battle right now. Thank you. I think it's new. I can't even tell. I can't even tell, man. Just going off right now. 39 Cav archers and Slam hasn't even clicked imp. Yeah. Slam taps out. Look at the army difference. Look at the amount of units they produced. The eco from Sobek was beautiful. And Magyars don't have an eco bonus, right? Lithuanians have eco bonuses, but I think for Slam, he maybe was a little bit too greedy here. I would have liked to see Slam produce more spearmen, produce more scouts, and stay in feudal age a little bit longer, but I think his resources started to rise, and he just got a little tempted. Can be pretty comfortable at times to fall back with those TCs as Lithuanians. You get the Monastery faster, so you can get the Relics faster, get to the Knights faster, but it's a tricky task, dude. And I don't know exactly what's happening in my chat right now, but sub gifts galore. Thank you. There's the KD for Sobek. And that eco, I mean, what a game to bounce back. 1-1 now. I will head into the third game. Game number 3. Hopefully my internet freaking cooperates, dude. This has been annoying. But, yeah, we got Acropolis. We've got Slam looking for win number 2. And same with Sobek. I've got the Malay for Slam, which is a little surprising to me. Typically, you see more mobile, like Cav Archer or Knight civilizations here. Malay is not really either, though they are still very strong. And then we've got the Japanese for Sobek. I bet they're both going to try and dock the middle. Because in this version of Acropolis, we added the 2 deep fish and a couple of the shore fish here. Now, I should clarify that if you were to go play Ranked Age of Empires 2 right now and go play Acropolis, there's no fish here, okay? Don't be like the guy who came to my chat upset with me, who at 1300 elo walked out here to dock because he saw it in a tournament game, and then there was no fish. And then he came to my chat and he was like, I have a bone to pick with you. I saw the Japanese build order from Stone Please, and I tried it myself, and there was no fish to be found. Yeah, the pond is kind of useless in normal version of Acropolis, but I think, like, Japanese have solid knights, they have good cav archers, and there is the fish in the middle, so I think that's why Sobek has done this. And then I think Slam maybe has considered the Malay for the same reason, the water element, which is wild to me, because it's like, when we added this, we didn't think it would change much because it's right smack dab in the middle. Like, cav archers and archers could kill your fish. Your villas are exposed. But people consider it worth it, which is pretty cool. Well, I need to repeat the stakes here and kind of how valuable this is. So, as it stands, they're about to finish the second round, right? And Sobek has 4 wins. So things are pretty good for Sobek, even if he doesn't win this. 4 wins is solid after 2 rounds. Slam has 2 wins. So for Slam to have 2 wins after 2 full rounds would be kind of rough for a player of his caliber. So Slam needs his win more than Sobek does is kind of my point. Obviously, there will still be 3 rounds left to play. I really would be surprised if either player would be relegated from this group. But it's not just that, it's also fighting for playoffs. And I think both players could easily make it into the playoff spots. So, Tonichin in chat says, yesterday I listened to T90's music YouTube playlist. When my roommate walked in, she was confused AF. Yeah, if you're listening to the AoE2 remixes and there's actual living beings around you that could hear that stuff, you might have some explaining to do. Can you imagine if you're like on a train or something, or a bus, and someone's just sitting there listening to Choppa? Even just watching, like if you looked over someone's shoulder and they were watching Age of Empires 2, well, I mean, obviously you guys would be like, yo, that's hype. But most people would be like, why are they watching that crappy graphic game? What is wrong with this person? So here we go, guys. This is maybe why Slam picked Malay. Now, watch the vision he gets from this dock. Malay docks have extra vision. It's going to be a very satisfying change. You ready? Oh, sees everything. Oh, it's beautiful. Just sees it all, dude. Every little bit of the shoreline. And then you look at Sobek, and it's just kind of boring. But Sobek sees enough. Sobek sees the 2 fish. Sobek sees the docks. So Sobek knows now. And so I think because both of these two are going for the dock, they have to contest for the water before they do anything else. It would be foolish not to. And I would say especially the Malay, because the Malay, I don't know, they just don't feel as natural of a civilization pick here for me. I'm still a little surprised that Slam picked this civ. I forget what else he drafted. But what the Malay do want is they want the ability to kill and be disruptive and do damage as quickly as possible. This gives them that opportunity, right? So this fast feudal will lead to a very fast fire galley from Slam. As Sobek should expect that Slam will probably do that, but he doesn't exactly know. Slam is taking the wood on the top, so he has not chosen to go to the lower wood lines, which Sobek did do. But Sobek is Japanese, has cheap lumber camps, has a lot more savings as far as that's concerned, so... I think if this turns into... Let's say it's an even late Castle Age. The longer the game goes, the more I start to prefer the melee a little bit. Both have good range units, but having access to bombard cannon can normally decide games against Japanese when Japanese do not. And Slam is going to open with a fire galley. You do not want to go for a demo against Japanese fish, guys. It will not kill a single fishing ship. So there were a couple people that suggested demo, and I respect you. I do. But that would be a poor move. Against other civs, I could see it. But when you're this fast, like, that fire galley is going to be out like, way faster than Sobek can really respond to. But did Slam know? Oh. Slam saw a lumber camp. He saw the gold. He did not see this whole wood line, and he does not know his opponent's going man-at-arms. Wow. Also, look at this. Sobek's Vil is in there repairing this fishing ship. And Slam is trying to block it and go for the Vil instead. That's so funny, dude. That's so well played. And now she's like, not gonna let you do it. Slam says, I'm roasting you anyways. Okay. Sobek is making the fire. Slam. No way, dude. That was crazy. He actually almost ran out of wood. That could have been so much worse for Slam. Still could lose the Vil, though. And Sobek can't get the villager. Slam's whole wood line goes idle for that, but he does save the Vils. And he is killing the fish. And he is going archers as well. So Slam didn't have the scouting on that. Great adaptation to realize. I think there's still a hole in the wood line on the other side here, but that should be no problem. Sobek's fish will go down. There's only 800 food available in the shorefish now. Eventually adding fish traps is an option, but great start for Slam. Sobek does have an archery range as well. His eco should still be pretty smooth, despite the eco KD. But he already benefited from the fish, right? And I'd be surprised if Slam adds fish traps right now. And, oh man, Slam with the quick walls. I don't know what that Vil was doing out here. I guess he overchopped his wood line. There's no way Slam keeps this Vil alive, though, right? You have to keep checking all the palisades and repair and... No way, dude. No way. That was so well played. Oh, but now he's losing his scout. But he does have 3 archers here. What a save. What a beautiful job from Slam to adapt here. Sick. Opening has been pretty good. But what Slam is lacking is a little bit of control and vision on Sobek's follow-up. Sobek knows that Slam's archers are over here. And so now he moves out. His plan is to find some villagers maybe on the other side of that gold. So it's hard to wall this map because you can't build on the rock terrain, but Slam is going to go for a circular wall. So he's taking no risks. And just now adding his first farm. Sobek's already on 8 of them. And Sobek's should be able to shift over to the berries as well. This is not how most players are playing Acropolis these days. A lot of times players are taking the wood at the bottom, building a tower down there if anything, but they're not doing this, what Slam is doing. But it's a pretty good method, at least until Castle Age, I guess. I don't know what the pathing is like for Sobek's units, but if he's clicking in here, it's probably pathing his units in towards the TC, right? So he won't be able to even get back there. And he'll feel a little frustrated, I imagine. Oh, there's a villager. And the villager also had 35 food in his hands, too, so that's pretty good. But I think Sobek will start to get a little bit concerned. Just the fact that you haven't really killed that much, and Slam is fully walled as melee, you're just worried that the melee are going to reach Castle Age faster than you here. Slam has a higher archer count as well. Sobek will add some skirms behind, but that's a nice snipe there for Sobek. As long as he doesn't lose too many archers, the skirm should be forward soon. T Pella in chat says T90. I want to say, oh god, not on another one of these. T90 official. Wanted to say thank you for fixing my insomnia. I've been suffering for years of staring at my ceiling. No more. Put on the latest game and straight into Z's. Can't even finish a game. Seriously, thank you. Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for the gifted sub. So glad you fall asleep to me and all my hard work. Droon Kid says, I think he actually means it. LMAO. I have had people, guys, people wait in line at live events to meet me and take a photo with me, and they say they fall asleep to me every night. That's the opening line that people use. It's a thing. Or it's this massive conspiracy where people want to troll me. But it's a thing. Great fight here. Well, I was going to say great fight for Slam. Obviously, that's a very good fight for Slam because he kills off the archers. But let's see how many he loses. Those are 2 armored skirmishers right there, and he's making the most of it. I think Slam will be happy with that, but it's not like he has a lot of leftover army either. I think the big difference, though, is that Slam didn't spend the food on armor and on skirms, and Slam is clicked up already. Crazy. Well, 2 ranges from Slam. He won't really benefit hugely from being in Castle Age. Like, he's barely going to have the resources to afford much, but maybe he can get Bracer. Or Bodkin Arrow, I guess. Yeah, guys, I'm kidding. It's okay. Like, I'm not fully offended. On paper, it is kind of disappointing. Like, you know, you put an hour into an epic cast to say everything as correctly as you can, and I screw up all the time, don't get me wrong. And then someone was just... like, someone just doing that on the other end of the screen. That's a little discouraging, but also at the same time, the name of the game is just having people show up and consistently be there. So, that's what it accomplishes. Is it offensive or intimate? I never thought about it being intimate, but now I am, and now we need to switch topics. So Slam reaches Castle Age before 20 minutes, and he won't be able to afford Crossbowman right away, but Bodkin Arrow will be here. He's got this sneaky little army looping around Sobek's base. Sobek already built a tower on the wood line, so that's what he thinks is most vulnerable. But around the back of his base, he still doesn't see Slam is here. Be curious to see how fast Sobek reacts here. He will have skirms in that range, so he shouldn't lose too much. But this is still really difficult for him. And here's Slam. And Sobek reacts immediately. That's really well played. May honestly only be 1 villager loss. And this isn't too bad because Slam's other units are not coming to your base because they're chasing this. I think Sobek will end up being okay here. 20 seconds away from the next stage. Should have quite a few skirms. As Slam will now drop a second TC down on the bigger wood line, which feels like the time for that. Close game. Really close game. Slam still has this tiny army to deal with, but that's about it. Crossbow's in for him now. And Slam lost one of those archers. And now is micring his heart out here. So, second TC for Sobek. This will be a very even game, guys. The fish doesn't really play a massive role from here, I would say. Because again, if you fish trap, the fish trap can just be shot by the skirms or archers or whatever. Slam's making cav archers? Did he do training games with Doubt for this? Again, normally this map, you do see a lot of cav archers because you're far away from the opponent and there's lots of small walls around the wood line. So you want mobility. But melee cav archers are not very strong. They do not get bloodlines, and they miss a bunch of other upgrades long term. But I'm sure Slam won't commit too heavily to them. And only 2 skirms there from Sobek's. A little wasteful, maybe. But still getting some value. And speaking of value, he's now got these skirms looping around to the back of Slam's base. Does Sobek know Slam has those crossbowmen there? Slam kills 1. Sobek reacts. There's still these skirmishers micring in the back. Another TC from Slam. So he's actually committing these TCs to the same area. And now the skirms are at the back of his base, and he needs an answer. Slam has wheelbarrow. Slam has bowsaw. Slam will be on 3 TCs faster. Slam's got solid army count. This is slight edge for Slam right now. The concern will really be, does he have an answer to skirms? And the answer right now seems to be scorpions. And that could work. Scorpions can definitely work. Skirmishers will see the scorpions. Nice grouping from Slam to have another scorpion waiting over here. I think those skirms will probably make it out alive, though. And also, great job from Slam to always be active moving here. I think Sobek lost track of this. Yeah, he did. So he doesn't know the army's over there, and he notices. Slam a 7-1 eco KD right now. Sorry to any Brazilians watching. Sorry to use that scoreline, but I guess that was pretty long ago at this point. Maybe the wound is healed. I don't know. Slam's army movement is just really frustrating for Sobek to deal with, I imagine. And more Cav archers. Shocking. Slam wants that mobility, but they are made of paper, man. Yeah, I know better than to do the 7-1 reference while casting a Brazilian, you know? I didn't make that joke earlier when we were casting Dokao. What a series that was, by the way. It was a great series. We have another series after this, guys. Ballistics would be game-changing right now for Sobek. If he would have had that, these crossbows would have been out of the picture. And now, Sobek sees both of these TCs, and so it was notable for me when I saw this. My thought was, this is just asking to get siege pushed and lose everything. But if you remember, at that time, Slam couldn't conveniently go back here, which I think would have been a better TC. The skirms for Sobek still want their kills. I wonder if it's worth it for Slam to make a couple galleys right now. Actually wouldn't hate it. But he's pretty at the limit with resources at the moment. Scorpion actually killed a Vil, but now will die to a Vil. And Ballistics finally on the way for Sobek. Slam is pretty heavy on stone right now. So Slam's planning on the castle. This is very similar to how Slam played the game number 1, where he went to stone much earlier. Don't really expect this game to be about anything but the front now. And the micro. How good will the micro be? Oh, it's really good for Slam. But Sobek responds. Both players have a mangonel at about 60%. But Ballistics is in now for these skirmishers. Man, I think Slam is just going to drop the castle right now. Yeah, this is a good play, actually. Because if you wait any longer, it could kind of get antsy here. This is tough right now for Sobek. Sobek, though, pops out. Slam will have some problems, but again, I think maybe the castle goes up if you play it like this. Good micro from Slam with the Scorpion. He's sacrificing so much of his army to take the mangonel. That's so bad. But it's so good for Slam because he gets the castle, which is all he wanted here. That was a clutch moment there from Slam. Also, all the mangonels have to be canceled because they would just die to the castle fire. The siege workshop will go down. Slam, I mean, look at his macro, man. He clicks imp. I think it would almost make sense for Slam to just go, like, range units again. Just go for your own skirmishers now. But that's crazy strong. If he waited any longer there, that castle maybe gets denied and the rest of the game flips on its head. Well, Sobek going to TC number 4, and Sobek's probably thinking, like, what more do I have to do to kill Vils here? He's killed one single Vil this game. He's lost 11 eco. He's had way more army. He's had the better army. He's had ballistics. And now Slam gets to be annoying with just a couple random units. Karambits. Get it? Random? Yeah, whatever. You're already asleep, so you don't even get to laugh at that joke. But it's not really the strongest raiding unit ever in terms of the damage output. But it's just really annoying. And you do have to respect it. And I think Slam might focus fully on the Karambits. He's bringing more Vills now for another castle. He did add the fish traps to those 2 fishing ships. And Sobek is probably like, what? How is he imp already? This is why a lot of people don't like to play against the Malay, because they can just punish you with the timings. Early Castle Age, Slam had a lot of control because of the timings. And, well, Karambits are just going to get shredded here, but now early imp, Slam has a lot of options. The Karambits do get the armor for free, though. So they're a bit tankier. Sobek doesn't really seem to respect them too much, but maybe he needs to respect them more. This is still good value for Slam. He's still getting great value there. He's still getting good value here. He's building castle number 2, and Slam wins round 2, 2-1. He looks strong. He also had Karambits here as well. I think Sobek just knew, like, he hadn't clicked up to Castle Age yet. He's getting raided in so many different spots, and his opponent's building 2 castles. He just knew that he would start to lose TCs to this. And Slam had any number of options to work with. I want to go back. So Slam's scouting wasn't perfect here. I want to go back to the Man-at-Arm quick wall. Because this game just ends if he doesn't get this moment right. Because he never scouted the barracks, right? So he sees the scout. And now he sees the militia. And boom, 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 boom. Like, that scout was there to block any house foundations, and Sobek just wasn't there in time. That was sick. That was really well played. Maybe Sobek could have actually killed that Vil. I don't think that changes the game massively, but really impressive job there from Slam. I wonder if Sobek regrets clicking the barracks, because he actually generates an attack noise. Listen to this. So that would make Slam look. And I wonder if he didn't click that barracks, if Slam doesn't look quite as quickly, and if Slam doesn't get the walls down. That was his only wood line. That's 3 Japanese Man-at-Arms and a full HP scout. Like, I myself have lost 3 or 4 Vils on wood lines so many times on hybrid maps against that type of build. So, was a good opening from Sobek. I think that's what he would have wanted a bit more value from. But GG. Makes things very interesting in the group. Let's take a quick look. So, as I said, I think Sobek will still be very happy with how things have gone for him so far in TTL. But Slam will be feeling much better after only getting 1 win the first round. So, still have some other sets to play. I don't know if Liquipedia updates right away. It did. Okay. So, everyone's played... Oh, no, I'm incorrect. Overtaken still has to play his series against Vivi. So we'll see what happens there. But as it stands, we've got Sobek with 4 wins, Vivi with 3, Slam with 3, Overtaken with 2, Lucha with 2, and then Gookie with 1. But, I mean, I would say Overtaken Vivi. Probably, I'm guess like maybe Vivi 2-1, which could maybe put Overtaken and Slam tied. Vivi win up against ahead of Sobek or something. It really depends which version of those players show up. Apparently, they play tomorrow. Cool. All right.